back to Irene Torokat. I'm Ren, and this week I worked on this tropical sunset piece. Quite a simple little piece that I'll show you the process of from start to finish. And it's somewhat of a cliche, this one, but I wasn't really inspired to start anything in particular this week, so I thought I'd just work on something super light-hearted and simple, which this piece definitely is. But also in this week's vlog, Jay and I went to some local falls, which are situated at the bottom of this massive ravine, which we climbed down and climbed back up out of. And then we went to a close by town for lunch together, so that was a really great day out. And then also this week, I moved things around in the backyard finally, because everything had just been dumped sort of in the undercover area where our backyard set is, and our barbecue and our pizza oven. So I had to sort of move things around there and repotted some plants and things, as well as some running around I had this week, a couple doctor's appointments and errands that I ran that I'll take you along on. And I also made a delicious chicken, brie and sweet pea risotto, which was absolutely delicious. Went down a treat with all of us. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But first of all, the first layer on this painting, I basically laid in the sky, all the clouds and the underlayer of the water. Just, yeah, pretty straightforward. So as I said, on Sunday, Jay and I visited some local falls called Lalal Falls, and then we headed to a rural town of Ballarat for a really nice lunch at a super cozy little restaurant that also displays some art and sells some art. The actual waterfall is at the base of a massive ravine, and we had to climb down some pretty treacherous parts. I couldn't actually film some of the way down because I just needed both hands to hold on to everything. Yeah, it was quite a bit of a climb, but well worth it. Absolutely beautiful falls down the bottom, and then we climbed up and went and had a lovely lunch.
There's not a lot of the wind turbines though. Like, how much electricity would one generate?
In 10 kilometres, turn right onto Clarendon Lau Road.
Arrival. That look out there, can't look over it.
I don't know.
Why is there? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, because we're a bit far from it. Looks beautiful though.
Just keep your eye on the grounds too for Joe Blake's. I don't know the worm.
It feels like I'm going to tip off the edge. What? Beautiful. Are we just going to look for somewhere random, or are we going to find that olive place?
Look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up. From the painting.
The second layer of this piece, I worked on the water. I added some of the darks to indicate some distant waves and motion in the water basically. I definitely needed to move things around in the backyard a bit because everything had just been placed haphazardly. My gnomes were still in boxes and yeah, there were just plants all over the place. So I replanted a little fern for my kitchen, and then I moved the backyard setting around and set up the plants so they're a little bit more organised, and put out all my gnomes and things. So now it looks a little bit better out there, and we can actually, now that the weather's getting nice, maybe sit out there for a barbecue or get the pizza oven going, so that should be good.
We got gnomes and mushrooms everywhere now. And then there was light.
And on the painting, I added some light to the sky because I thought it was a little bit dark, and then some light reflection across the water. I also, during the day, I was just pottering around, and during painting, I thought I'd make myself a really simple Korean noodle lunch, which was really nice. I thought I'd include. Super quick and easy, satisfying lunch are some Korean noodles, but I like to sort of jazz them up a bit. So I fry off a little bit of red onion in some sesame oil. Once they soften, I add the pork. I start crisping that up with some garlic powder. Once it's nice and crispy and delicious, I add some fish sauce, some soy sauce, and then stir that around a little bit. Add in my noodles, my seasoning, 550 ml of water. Cook it for 5 minutes into a ramen bowl, some bean shoots for garnish, and mwah, Bob's your uncle. Garnish with your bean shoots. Yum, 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 yum. I had a couple of doctor's appointments this week, so Crohn's update. My Crohn's is pretty stable at the moment, but I had to have my yearly care plan review done with my regular doctor, and then I also had to go see my specialist, my gastroenterologist, for a new government approved script for my next lot of immune suppressant medication, which we have to send away for every 3 months. So I went and did that. I also had some errands to run. I wanted to look at some small canvases, get some flowers for the house, just bits and pieces, and I thought I'd take you along with me for the day. So busy day today. We've got a doctor's appointment with blood results and a care plan review. We've got a specialist appointment with a Stellara review and checkup. Got to run some errands, got to get a few groceries, even though I did my massive grocery shop Monday, and get a couple smaller scale canvases. Lots to do. Some flowers for the house, dropping to Mum's because I've got to drop something off to her. So lots and lots of running around today. Fun. Doors closing. Get back Cinnabon. Then later on that same day, it was finally time to add in the palm tree silhouettes and some beach grasses, which definitely makes the background pop, I think. So for a weekday dinner, this week I thought I'd share a risotto recipe with you. Some people are perplexed by risottos and how to make them. I think it's quite simple and it's so delicious. It's melty and beautiful, so definitely give it a try if you haven't made your own risotto before. This is a foolproof recipe. Just follow along what I do and you'll have a delicious risotto at the end. So for the chicken risotto, you're obviously going to need some chicken. I'm using a couple thighs. You can use a couple small breasts and that can serve 3 to 4 people. Obviously you'll need some rice, arborio rice or short grain rice. They say is best for risotto, but I think jasmine rice is amazing in risotto. So you're going to need to add a little bit of oil to your pan to begin with and a small knob of butter. We're adding the oil so the butter doesn't burn. And then we're going to saute some onion. Then we're going to go in with some prosciutto, crisp that up a tiny bit, and then add in our chicken. Then we're going to add salt, pepper, some sweet paprika, and we're going to fry that off for a little while. And then after that, we're going to go in with some rice, and then some stock, and some more stock, and some more stock, and some more stock, until your risotto is almost ready. And then towards the end, we're going to go in with the brie, and we're going to go in with a couple more knobs of butter. And I'm also going to add sweet peas towards the end. So when the risotto is 3/4 done, I'm just going to add some baby peas because they go lovely in this. And I'm also going to crisp up some prosciutto. You don't have to do this, this is just a garnish, but I actually love a little bit of crispy prosciutto and a little wedge of brie on top of my risotto. And that's about it. Sauteing the onions. Until they soften. So once your onions have softened, you can go in with some prosciutto. And we'll start crisping that up just a tiny bit before we add the chicken. And we want to saute that until the chicken starts to get a little bit golden. Nice and golden. Smells delicious. Now we'll go in with our rice. About a good handful per person and a little bit extra for good measure. Once your rice has been sauteing for a couple of minutes, it's time to start adding the stock. And then you stir your risotto. Give it a minute or two, and when it starts looking quite creamy, when you pull it and it looks quite creamy, then you add another half a stock, another half a cup of stock, and so on and so forth until you've used up all your stock, or basically 2.5 times to 3 times as much stock as you would your rice. Now that the rice is 3/4 done, I'm going to go in with the peas. And then once that's heated through, I'll go in with a little bit more of my stock. Once your rice is fully cooked, it's time to go in with the brie. And you let that melt through. And lastly, you want to go in with a couple of knobs of butter. And that will just give it that silken smooth finish. And we're ready to serve. Place your prosciutto chips in with your risotto and some wedges of brie. And enjoy. Jasmine absolutely loves my risottos, and she's so annoyed that so many restaurants don't make it properly. It needs to be really melty and moist and never dry, never claggy, which adding the butter at the end really helps with that. It's not exactly the most healthiest recipe with all the butter that goes into it, but it's so well worth giving it a try if you haven't done so before, so please do so. But yeah, on the painting, finally this morning, all that needed to be done basically was just some light reflection on the water and a little bit of light added to the trees, just to sort of bring them forward a little bit, nice and easy. Super simple, and I think I might stick with the dark theme next week. There's a moonscape that I've been thinking about doing, and I've got a blacked out canvas that I might utilise, but I haven't really decided yet 100% what I'll be working on. But yeah, that's about it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, if you could like and subscribe, I'd much appreciate it. And join me again next week for the creation of another oil painting and whatever adventures I have that week. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great week and a great weekend, and hope to see you next time. Bye guys!